Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Today, I'm telling you right now, I got Bigfoot footage, and some of it comes from Wisconsin because it's been a hotbed of activity.
Well, did you know the government's involved with alien hybrid programs? All that coming up.
I know about that.
You're on the road beyond. I'm Todd Duplantis. Welcome to the show.
I'm Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle, and we got a lot of stuff. This is going to be so
We've
much
got
fun.
a lot to unpack today. We've been, it seems like we've been away for a while, but we changed our recording schedule.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, we're at the HCC TV studios here at Houston City College in lovely downtown Houston.
Now, you said something about the government.
Alien hybrids. Yeah, you want to talk about now?
Hybrids.
You want to talk about that now?
Yeah, I'm curious. I think I know a little bit about this.
Well, there's two parts to this story. First off, former congressman claims government briefed him on alien hybrid programs. That's right. There was a firestorm online when Matt Gaetz, former congressman, he's now on, I think, News Nation. Anyway, he's being interviewed, and he just kind of nonchalantly talks about the government briefed him on an alien breeding programs involving humans. The claim goes far beyond UFO sightings. In fact, they're saying alleging captured non-human entities, biological material, and intentional hybridization. Now,
wait.
Yeah.
Intentional hybridization.
Intentional. They actually impregnated people.
That's what I wanted to get clear.
Yeah, into your DNA, and this has
Right.
been going on for a while. It's like, oh yeah, it's happening. And this has had a couple of officials. In fact, there is a, now I didn't bring his name to the table, but there is a Australian senator who came forward with the same information, and he even went so far to say as, you'd be surprised of the ones who are hybrid. They're with us right now.
Is it like in Men in Black where it's the ones we think that
Yeah.
when you find out
like,
you're going to
oh
go,
yeah, like,
I
oh
knew
yeah,
that.
that person is, well, you could be thinking
I just,
that.
I've seen a couple of, I believe it's a congressperson, I don't remember exactly who, has commented that you would be shocked what they know. They can't tell us the details.
You're talking about Tim Burchett.
Yeah, okay,
he was in the news, same situation. He was in the news most recently, and he was talking more or less about these entities. And he said, if you knew when I was briefed, he said, I've told the president, he said he's told the president to release all the information, but he says it's going to set the world on fire. People are going to be outraged, and it's going to get pretty crazy. So things could get a little sporty over the next few months, especially as we move more towards disclosure.
And you still think Disclosure Day is coming early
Well,
July.
we know the movie's getting released, so
but
it's all about marketing here. It's all about marketing, the Steven Spielberg movie.
Why have we not had any photos? Nothing has leaked out. If there's one thing that Washington cannot keep, and it's a secret.
Yeah, well, there have been some things. In fact, we've had congressional hearings. David Grush, if you remember him, he's been in Congress under oath saying that the government has retrieved craft throughout the years, and that we've had reverse engineering program. That's why we've got advanced technology because of this reverse engineering. And critics, though, are jumping out saying, wait a second, these people are all lying. It's being misrepresented. But the bottom line is there's been no evidence public released to substantiate the breeding program allegations.
See, that's the one, the breeding program. I think I can handle aliens.
Yeah.
I can handle technology, but the breeding program, that's where are they getting the people that they're breeding with, the aliens?
But everybody's thinking these are otherworldly beings. We keep going back to the fact that these are interdimensional beings.
Okay.
In fact, J.D. Vance, our vice president, drew a lot of attention because he was on the Benny Johnson podcast recently.
Okay.
And he made claims that, well, maybe they're not aliens, they could be demons. Take a listen.
We're waiting for it. We saw aliens.gov.
You know me.
We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without a follow-up on that. Because Barack Obama is on this podcast, and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but, like, here's where they're not. And
I did not.
And so Obama says
I didn't
yes,
hear that
aliens.
one.
He gets asked point blank, are aliens realistic? Oh yeah. And then he goes, but they're not at Area 51. And
Well, where are they?
Well, that's what he says. Okay. Right. That's a great question.
I need
Trump
to see
had to go
this-
save
I
him,
need
and
to
he
see
said
this
he's going to
podcast.
declassify.
Okay.
So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that the desire to describe everything celestial, everything as otherworldly, to describe it as aliens. I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there, and there are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people.
So as you can see, he gives more of a Christian viewpoint,
Yeah.
tying it into demons, the devil, scripture. But you hear about this interdimensional beings. I guess we are closer now to Disclosure Day, the
Right.
real Disclosure Day, not that we're closer
Right.
to the movie itself, but we're going to get some type of disclosure, which you think is going to be a big nothing burger.
I do. I have been trained to be disappointed and expect not a lot.
Well, Tim Burchett, going back to him, he talked about the fact that not only will people go crazy when they hear everything about aliens,
Right.
but he says, we've got people related to these programs that have been disappearing.
Now that is
and
true. Yes.
found dead over the past few months, and it's been mentioned in
Yep.
Congress. This is, and he even said in the interview, Burchett did, that he is not suicidal. Meaning that if something would happen to him, he made that claim himself.
I think I honestly believe that what's going to happen is we are expecting some 8-foot tall gray being, and what we're going to get is more bacterial or cellular level.
Well,
that's
maybe
what I'm expecting.
As far as alien life, but this interdimensional, you're going to be hearing a lot more about that.
I'm curious. But now you mentioned the reverse engineering.
Yeah.
So what I've got is Elon Musk released this information about a
Would
phone.
He be one you think was
Absolutely,
hybrid?
100%,
Okay.
without question.
All right.
But he has released that he is developing a phone that can work on Mars. So as we know, yesterday Artemis took off, right, to go around the globe to look for a good place for basically a moon base. Well, Elon has said that he's developing a phone that connects to satellites, Starlink, his system. Right, it'll work on Mars. It'll unlock your car. It stores 5 terabyte of information like memes, because you can't have enough memes.
Well, he's
on
been
your
talking
phone.
about an X phone for a while.
Yes. Well, this one, wait till you hear the price tag on this. But first, it'll connect directly to a satellite, share your location, help with data. No dead zones. So if you're on the top of a mountain, you can still connect. Wherever you are, you'll be able to connect. Now, the claim is that it will be usable on Mars because he's predicting we will be living on Mars relatively soon.
Right.
The price tag, $19,999.
Yeah.
And you can actually do a payment plan or a subscription plan that is just under $500 here on Earth and only $900 on Mars.
Wow.
And
$500 a month, huh?
He did not mention when it would come out, but here's some creepy things about it, all right? First, it'll last 4 days, its battery, here on Earth, 2 days on Mars, because the days on Mars, I think, are longer. So it only lasts 2 days. Along with that, it'll connect to Neuralink, which is what they implant in your
head.
brain, to where your phone will know what app you want to open before you even know.
Yeah,
I don't
need a device collecting my thoughts. They're collecting enough of me on
Here's the only thing.
Digital world.
This information was released on April 1st, April Fool's Day. So is it possible this was just an elaborate April Fool's joke? Or is this something he's really working on?
Well, he's been talking about a phone for a while.
Yeah.
But I can't think a $20,000 one in the whole working from Mars. We're not even going to Mars yet.
I know.
All right. So that's a little ambitious. I think that's April Fool's, yes. But is he developing a phone? Absolutely. And he's talked about that on X before.
At that price, you better put some wheels on it or a bed that I can live in, because that is a ridiculous price tag.
I don't think that's going to be the case, but I do see a phone coming out.
I do agree. I do think we'll see more advances in our phone technology. I don't think it'll be anytime soon. I'm with you. I think it's April Fool's, but it's a fascinating idea.
Well, one thing that's not April Fool's is there were a lot of meteors striking the U.S. over the last couple of weeks, especially here in Houston. We're going to talk about that when The Road Beyond continues.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
I'm Garth Brooks.
And I'm Trisha Yearwood.
A safe, decent, affordable place to call home is a canvas full of
hope and joy, opportunity.
Visit Habitat.org to help more families make masterpieces of their very own.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast. I'm Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle, along with Todd Duplantis. I want to mention, real quick, you can always find us on social media, all the sites at the Road Beyond podcast, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Now, what about these meteors? We've had fire dropping from the sky.
People are like, this is how Sodom and Gomorrah ended, you know? I mean,
what a great comparison.
And I first caught this. A lot of people, I don't live in Cypress, but I live in far northwest Houston.
Right.
And apparently there was a sonic boom that was heard across the city. And this goes back to March 21st. It was a daylight meteor explosion over Houston. NASA confirmed a 1-ton meteor traveling at 35,000 miles an hour exploded about 29 miles above the Houston area. They're saying if this thing didn't break up, it was going to be like a
can you imagine?
Nuclear bomb.
Well, it did land, if I'm not mistaken, in a lady's house.
Well, we're going to get to that. Yeah. So it caused booms across all of southeast Texas, shaking windows, startling residents. In Spring, Texas, a woman reported that a football-sized meteorite crashed through her roof. That's right, came through the roof. She had a piece on the floor. Of course, news stations getting out to her house right away on that one.
Of course, there it is.
Then there was other ones near Willowbrook Mall, which I think is the most activity Willowbrook has seen in about 20 years, and Northgate Crossing. Look at that, went through the roof like that. Come in through your house. A separate meteor event occurred over southeastern Texas, producing bright fireball and sonic booms visible and audible across the Houston region. In fact, in Cypress, Texas, a restaurant already started marketing this. Max Telge Sports Bar apparently said they had a piece crash through theirs, and they've got it on display at the sports bar. There you go. It was on their patio, and it's now on display at the sports bar. So there you go, in the Houston Chronicle.
Now, just to give people an idea, keep in mind that what we're talking about is only about 15 miles from downtown
Oh,
Houston.
yeah.
So this is not like way far out.
Well,
it's where a lot of people live and commute into town.
Now, this happened on the 21st here in Houston. On the 17th of March, a 7-ton meteor exploded over Ohio. And there was another flash and boom over across Ohio in Pennsylvania between the 17th and the 18th. Now, as a nationwide, the people are saying this is a nationwide surge in meteor activity. What was strange about this one, there, look at this video here. People were saying, and it was happening across the world. We had sightings in Turkey, and people were thinking this was somehow related to the military activity going on in Iran. They were thinking, are we under attack? Is the government hiding?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, pieces of rock start falling all over the place.
Right.
And NASA stepped out and said, whoa, nothing to see here. NASA was saying, you know, we constantly get meteors. And when they're coming down, they're saying they're a meteor. When they break up, they're called meteorites.
Okay.
And that's what actually lands in, hopefully, your house.
Well, I did a little show prep for my show on Houston's Eagle, and the National Meteor Society, I believe it's called, they actually said they're not sure why we have all this extra activity, but it needs to be investigated. But there are two things to take away. Number one, it is not aliens.
Right.
But number two, they don't know what the hell it is.
Well,
it's just an increase in activity. They don't know if we're going through a meteorite belt or exactly what's going on.
You'd think they'd know if we were going through a belt. I mean, come on, these guys are NASA.
But they don't have an answer.
Well, NASA notes that Earth is struck by roughly 50 tons of space debris daily. Let me repeat that.
Okay.
50 tons of space debris daily. And so this just had, a lot of it goes by unnoticed.
That would be 100,000 pounds if my math is right.
Yeah, exactly.
I just
That's what hitting us.
Numbers.
Yeah,
that is nuts.
If you needed some more weird stuff.
A lot of people have said, experts, not us, we just tell you about it, but experts have claimed that these meteorites are also causing more activity with Bigfoot. And they're not sure why. This has kind of...
Remember we covered that a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bigfoot sightings. They knew they were leaving.
Yes.
They knew the meteorites were on the way.
Right? They're
were taking off.
It and they're like, we got to get out of here.
Because they were crossing across Ohio and Pennsylvania as well.
Well, check this out. I've got a couple of videos for you to look at and determine if this is indeed Bigfoot.
Oh, I wonder if you're
or is it AI? One of them is from Wisconsin. Take a look at this first one here. This is a Bigfoot that was caught at a little construction site. The guy's just working away, but look in the background.
Yeah, you kind of
see that dark figure
that could
moving
be a bear,
around.
Though. That could
No,
be a bear.
hang on. They're going to zoom in on this sucker.
Is this the one that I'm thinking it is?
The question here,
it's a pretty darn clear picture.
Yeah,
if it's the one I'm thinking
the next one you get to see even better. But this thing is huge. Wait till you see how big this thing is. Look how wide he is. But when it stands up, that's a good 8 to 9 feet. Yeah, he's squatting down right there, even more so. But this guy, he wasn't even aware of it in the beginning. This next one actually is, that first one, by the way, came from North Carolina Squatch Watch, so NC Squatch Watch. This next one is from Supernatural Sleuth. This one is actually from Wisconsin. Look at this.
This is what I was going to show next week. Yes.
This is actually...
This is pretty good.
In Wisconsin. So the real question, look at that.
Yeah, and you got to wonder. And it matches what all the eyewitnesses said for years.
Look at the eye blinks.
Look at the eyes. That it has a human face. And that's why a lot of hunters have gotten this in their sights. And they're like, I just can't do it. It's got a human face.
But the blinking, see, I'm still 50-50. It could be AI because the blinking there was not smooth, like with a human.
Well, if there really are Bigfoot, and I think we both come from, there's something out there.
Yes.
We all have our cell phones all the time.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to get a good picture. That picture we just showed was probably the best, if it's not AI, it's probably the best Bigfoot picture/video I've ever seen.
Well, it's the best one that I've seen that doesn't really look fake.
Right, exactly.
There have been a couple of others, and you look at it, and you're like, that's either a guy in a mask, or it's just too much. That one looked realistic enough to make me go, that is something. And a lot of these are coming from the trail cams.
Right.
You know, there's always been the debate, are these things
and the trail
supernatural or what? Because they've avoided a lot of trail cams. But with more cameras and everything out there, we're getting more and more.
And that's a whole nother can of worms, the whole supernatural element with Bigfoot. Because if you talk to, we've had a gentleman on this show who is a cryptozoologist. He studies all these strange animals. And he's like, Bigfoot is not supernatural. Bigfoot, he believes, is a creature. It is it's a hominid or something along those lines. However, there have been cases, and we've had people on this show talking about the fact that when you have a Bigfoot, you have UFOs, you have things like vortexes, and then there's also the weird discussion, the rabbit hole you want to go down is the one with the national park disappearances.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that. But you also have to consider indigenous tribes because they claim that there is a supernatural element
to the wood,
to Bigfoot, Yowie, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's fascinating. Part of me wants to experience it from a distance.
Yeah. Well, I'd had an experience years ago when I was a kid, So anyway, you got anything else for that?
I do. If you want to live forever, we're going to talk about cryostasis.
Cryostasis. And we're going to continue our conversation on aliens coming up next.
My name is Jeff. Having a traumatic brain injury is understanding you were a lot smarter before the accident. I lost so many traits. Food donations from Suncoast Center of Independent Living helped me tremendously. It can mean fully paying the bills off. That's one of the biggest gifts right there. I have a purpose again. Life goes on.
There wasn't a seat, so we built a stage. They told us to dim our light, so we stood in the spotlight. Since 1978, we have been the home for our stars, our community, our culture, preserving our stories and history, setting the stage for our future for the next generation of dreamers, doers, and disruptors. We're moved to bring us closer through every moment. Your story starts at Crossroads. Visit crossroadstheatercompany.org.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick during the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast. Don't forget, you can like, follow, and share on all the social media sites and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Road Beyond podcast. I'm Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle.
Todd Duplantis, Houston City College. Good to have you with us today. Of course, we couldn't leave you without discussing aliens once again. Doug, did you know the government has 2 new websites?
Yes.
Or registered.
Yes, I do know about
That's
this.
Right.
And I wrote a story. It's up on HoustonsEagle.com, and I can share it on our site as well. Yes,
yeah.
I'm excited about this.
There is a post that was going crazy last few weeks. The government has registered aliens.gov and alien.gov, G-O-V.
Yes.
And they're expecting this. What does it have to do with? Department of Homeland Security? Does it have to do with natural aliens? Interstellar beings? We just don't know yet. But they got them, and they're going to use them.
Right now, all they've done is parked the domains, right? There is nothing up on those websites, but it does.
At the time of the show, there's nothing on.
Now, you have to ask the question. We've got the possibility of Disclosure Day, the presidential speech, not the movie, right?
Yeah, right.
We've got all these sightings. We now found out about the alien hybrid. So what does that mean for these websites? I am very excited.
I'm extremely excited about this, but keep an eye out on alien.gov or aliens.gov.
So
more to come.
We're going to keep an eye on it for sure.
You're darn right we are.
if we don't find out anything within our lifetime, I have an option for you, though.
Yeah?
Cryostasis. Think Walt Disney. Remember, we always heard the story that Walt Disney, at least his head was preserved.
His head somewhere in the...
Ted Williams, the same thing. Well, now around 500 people in the world are frozen, not metaphorically, literally preserved in minus 196 degrees Celsius with futuristic technology, and they're waiting for science to catch up to
and wake them up and repair them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
But think about it, minus 196 degrees Celsius. They put you in cryoprotective chemicals. It prevents ice crystals from forming and tearing your cells apart. And there are basically two main facilities.
Oh, 200 grand. That's what I was going to ask. What do we got going?
Alcor Life Extension Foundation and Cryonics Institute. Just make sure that these aren't like in the... Remember we did a story about a doctor working out of a Toyota Celica?
Oh, yeah,
Just make sure they're reputable.
Wasn't he doing circumcisions or something
along those? He was doing some kind of crazy surgery. I don't know. But this is, they say it's not just for billionaires and it's not just for sci-fi fans, that you can actually fund it through your life insurance policy. Well, $200,000. Is it worth it is my question.
Well, you know, when we die, I hear the afterlife is like the place to be. You know, we're all dying to get there. Do you really want them to bring you back to a dystopian future that's just, you know, living like, what if we wake up and it's Planet of the Apes? How's that going to work?
That is a terrifying prospect.
You know, Charlton Heston was right after all these years.
But we don't even know if waking these people up,
if that's going to solve all their problems,
back to life. Well, can you even bring them back to life? And if you do, you know, is it going to be like Monkey Paw, the old story where it's, you're alive, but you're not really alive. You know?
I saw a meme. They said, okay, we've got 10 days now for all of us to go buy ape costumes so that when the the spaceship returns back to Earth, we all put we prank them all, you know, like welcome back to Planet of the Apes, So
I think this is crazy. Personally, I'm like you. If the afterlife is even a fraction of what we've all been told throughout our lives, that it's worth a shot. But even if not,
I certainly wouldn't be dragged back into it.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to hang around. I
mean,
you just don't know what state the world's going to be in. What if technology never catches up? What if the businesses go out of business?
I know, what if you just spoil?
There?
You spoil. That's what's going to happen. You're going to end up like
you're left on ice forever.
Think about when hurricanes happen, we lose power, everything spoils.
Can you imagine?
That's what you're going to have.
Archaeologists come back and find that you're still there. You
know,
200,000.
They paid 200,000.
I don't know. It's a crazy idea, but some people think it's worth it.
Well, I imagine there are some of you out there that want your money back after watching this show. Luckily, we bring it to you free on a weekly basis. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of the Road Beyond podcast. He is
Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle, and you are
Todd Duplantis, Houston City College. We're the Road Beyond podcast. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week.